Hey, and welcome to my studio. Today I'll be working on a design or an illustration in Procreate. I'll be working with alpha lock on every layer. I'll be adding texture to make the illustration warmer and more interesting than having flat surfaces made by a computer. And I started off by drawing the 4 basic shapes of the whale. A fun way to draw is to get the outline in place and then drag a swatch into it to fill it up with color. So I'm doing that for the whale and for the ocean. And that gives me all the basic shapes that I need to work with, because the fish will require more details. Here's a cool trick. In order to draw the whale jaw that is submerged underwater and to keep it seamlessly aligned with the belly layer, all I need to do is duplicate the layer that I've already got and change its color by dragging a color swatch onto it, and then removing the parts that are not needed by erasing them and dragging the rest out of the canvas. After that, all I need is to rearrange the layers, and there you go, we got the whale. I'm drawing the ocean basically in the same way I drew the whale, by drawing the outline, following my sketch, and closing it, then dragging a swatch of color into the closed shape to fill it up. And then I'm adding some details to make it look more alive, like splashes of water. And next I'm adding texture. And for that I'm actually using brushes that are already within the app, within Procreate. So it could be a noise brush, a brush that looks like splashes of water or driven snow. That's actually a brush in Procreate that I often use. If you notice, the waves have already gotten the texture, and I use some kind of chalk or charcoal brush to do that. And the texture helps the flat colored surface of the layer have more depth and interest, kind of like what we would use in traditional medium like drawing on paper. Let's draw the fish next, and I hope you paid attention, and these are actually Swedish fish. We're talking about the actual candy swimming in the ocean. So I'm drawing one fish, and since I want to maintain the same shape, I'm going to duplicate that fish and then change the size to create a group of fish. And I'm going to do the same as I add texture to the fish. And this is a creative choice because I can choose to draw each fish slightly different. But I actually want them to look uniform, to look the same, because they're Swedish fish, they're candy. So they're supposed to be looking the same, like they were made in a mold. Here's another tip. If you notice, I'm creating the details by using the eraser, not a brush. The eraser in digital art is actually used as a brush. That's why there are so many options for the eraser, just as many as you can have for brushes. This is really my actual workflow. I initially planned for this video to show an illustration process, and I'll place a link in the description below later for the finished work, which includes the added text to the fish. Please check out my tutorial on how to add text in Procreate. My goal is to create full-length video lessons which would break down the art process and will explain each part in much more details. So subscribe and get notifications to follow up with my channel. Now you can see that I'm drawing the jaw lines using one color, but it actually draws with 2 colors. That's because I've set the layer blending mode to multiply or color burn, and that's a nice trick. Thanks for joining me today. I hope you learned something new that you can add to your workflow, or got inspired to do your own version of a whale with fish. I'll see you in my next video. Bye for now.